Hi everybody, welcome back to the backyard, and today let's try and get some ideas on how to carve a face and make it a little closer. First, I've got some eyes here. Let me show them to you. I turned them on my lathe and I put sticks on the back so they wouldn't fall out of the snow sculpture. We might put those in later, but you can use anything for eyes, buttons, etc. But notice this eye is different. In fact, I shouldn't call it an eye. This is only the iris. Here's one that's perfectly round, and if I open my eyes wide, you can almost see all of my iris. But if I squint, my eyelids cut off a lot of the iris, and that's why some of these are rounded. That'll come up later when I put these in. You could even make them out of paper and kind of stick them on somehow, or maybe a piece of cardboard. And here's a really big one that accentuates the idea that the iris is, you don't see the entire iris because the eyelids cover it. But let's get to the main event here. Let's look at some initial concepts of how to make a face in snow. So let's get a nice clean spot here. There it is. I'm going to use this cheap loop tool. And here's my nose. So I got deep in this socket here where the eye's going to be. That's where I'm going to start. I'll leave lots of space for the top of the nose. But in I go. I'm going to go quite deep. And the nose often, not all people, but sometimes goes in at this point here. And down we go. So now I'm going to do the part beside the nose, leaving lots of material for the nose initially. Well, it might be a wide nose anyways. Or later I can always take it in as my point. Now watch this. I'm going to go way down here, because that's going to make our life easier. Because the big thing I find people don't realize is the face really moves back. It's not a flat plane as you might have thought initially. Watch these eyes too. I'm going to take a lot of material off the side. Look how deep I'm going in here. And there's my cheek. I'll leave a bit of a cheek, but I'm going to take it way back on the side, because that's the way a face actually is designed. Are you starting to see it there? This looks like Frankenstein up here. We may have to round that off. Let's get a cheek going here. But I'm really taking this off, aren't I? And I'm going to dig this in deeper here. Really, look, I'm going to go sideways. Look how deep that is, the profile of that. All right, even deeper. And then I'll come out here. Now, notice I need some material on my nose. To get a real nose, I'd have to move the whole thing back. And I could do that, but let's try something. I'm going to take my hand and just hold it on there. Now, there's a separate video on how to make patch snow, where you spray just a little bit of water into a pail while you fluff snow. But we're going to try something here. We're going to put on a nose. I'm holding it for, what, 30 seconds? And then I'm going to leave it and carve other areas while this sinters on. And hopefully our test works. So there sideways, I've bought myself some depth. Okay, back to our story. Now I'm going to do the mouth. Now for the mouth, I'll move to my grapefruit tool. Keeping my mitts on because I don't want to get cold. And watch what I do on the mouth. I'm not even sure what kind of mouth it'll be, but let's draw a line across. And I'll put an angle like this for the bottom lip. Let's have it closed for now. We'll do teeth another time. And the top lip, I'm not going in, well, I could go in straight to establish it, but then I'm going to go on an angle. And towards the middle, I move my hand up, and then I move my hand down, because that's how lips really work. Same on the bottom, really. I've got the big lip, so I'm on this angle, and now I'm going to come up to level. But notice the smile comes way back. In fact, I need to take way more off to get this right. So notice here, it's not straight across. I'm going to go way back into that line that I established earlier. Okay, same here. So back we go. And I'll make that even deeper. My goodness, sometimes I'll just throw my glove down there to do some initial shaping. That nose is still sintering, but it was bothering me so much I just wanted to give it a little bit of a touch there. Now back to this mouth. It's not straight across. We're going to curve back into this hole here on both sides. Okay, and that means by definition I need to take all this material out. I could use the loop tool here, but I'm going to try and stick with this. In fact, I'll even show you that you can use a robust plastic knife for some of this carving, if that's all your parents would allow you to do. Now, this might be kids trying this, but you might be, who knows, maybe you're a 35-year-old or 50-year-old person who's spending a lot of time on Zoom and you're doing this just to have a little fun. Well, good for you. I'm going underneath this lip. I'm trying to rotate a bit so you can see all these different perspectives. Now, obviously I'm too low to have a full chin, but that's okay. going to carve this way back. So the key thing is this line is way back. And I'll even take it back further just to make a point. And here. And hey, I have no training in sculpting, so I am learning all this on the fly like you are. And no doubt a sculptor could give us some guidance. For example, what do we do at this point? Do we, again, push it back? And you can start studying faces. Study your family, study your friends, and determine what does their face look like. You might get some funny looks as you start staring at people. So here I'm going to try and establish that angle for the lips. So key, because if you can get it right, it starts to look like something. Now those lips are sticking way out, and that is awesome. But notice I'm going to take it way back, and then zip in underneath. There we go. Okay, what do we got up top here? As soon as you get one part done, you start realizing what has to happen elsewhere. Now, my left side is going to be better than the right, because I don't want to block your view, okay? I've got to take something off the top here, though. This is ridiculous. So I just grabbed the first saw I could find, and I'm going to take that off. Now, notice the forehead does not go straight up like Frankenstein. We want to kind of give it an angle. Now, everyone's forehead's different, but if you get some sort of angle on it, maybe I'll go bald, so I don't have to worry about hair. I'll do hair in a different video. So this is going to make it a little better. So I've gone on this angle to get him going. Now up top, I'll kind of angle that off as well. So I'm changing the angle of my saw. And then I'm going to take my glove for some rough sanding. That's starting to look like something. I'll polish the entire thing for a moment, just to get us closer. It's time for the nose. Yeah, I think so. It hasn't sintered very long, so we're taking a risk here. But let's take a. I'm coming down. But for my other videos, I should not cut all the way down, or it's going to break off. I'll come up from the bottom. There. All right. Now, if I had some pictures from the internet, or even pictures of myself, profile shot and straight-on shot, that would make life a lot easier. And maybe when you carve, you'll have a picture in front of you. Okay. Very bulbous nose at this point. Now, watch this. Many noses at this point will angle like this, not straight across. We'll have an angle here, like this. Same on the other side, like this. And did you notice it was somewhat fragile from the that sintering that's still going on? So I'm being very gentle. A little impression in there. Now you can, and symmetry, oh my goodness, because I'm not straight on, I'm not seeing how this is unbalanced left and right. So this is going to look very interesting, but why not? To drill the nostrils, they start in the very middle, because these are very fragile. And then as you carve it, the material will break, or the material, I always call it material, the snow will break into the void you've already created. I can't see that one, so I'm only going to focus on this one for you. All right, let's spend a bit of time on eyes. I'll knock off a little bit of the brow here as well. Let's see what we can do on eyes. Here's my eye. Don't know if it's the right size. It might work. It might work. Let's see if we can get one eye in. I'm seeing my beard in the reflection of the glass I'm shooting through, and it's looking pretty funny. I'll call it my COVID beard. All right, here we go. There's got to be two arcs, right? Am I deep enough is the question. So I'm going to bring it in, and I'll make a big arc. Remember, an eyeball, including the iris, is round. So we got to go way in here, way around here, and I'll just bring it out like this, and then I'm going to bring it underneath. Oh boy, this is high risk. I'm moving so fast to give you an idea here, and round that thing off. Is it, from your view, is it starting to look like anything? I hope so. There it is. Take off that cheek a little bit. This is going to be a one-sided sculpture for sure. Okay, we're getting there. But notice key messages. Notice how deep I had to go into this point right here. This is so key. Right there. Go deep. Go really deep. Think of where that was initially. I'm in so deep. And the nose dips in here. The forehead cuts back like this. The lips dip underneath the bottom lip. This arc here is so key. It's not straight across. It arcs way back into this big groove that I initially put there. Okay. Now, this is not a demo on eyeballs, but I'm going to go there just for fun, just to finish this off. I'm going to cut, hopefully, what that eyeball would be. Oh my goodness. We're going to go right into that corner. And we'll go like this. Now this angle here, usually boom, and then boom, and we take out this there. See how that dips in? Very typical. I've exaggerated so you can see it. And I go deeper, and now it's time to fit. Terrible here, I'm taking off my gloves, which I do not recommend. I'll do a test fit of where it goes. So there's the point. I'm going to drill a hole with my grapefruit knife for that stick. I'll put it in. Is it close? I cannot push. And then I'll put my gloves back on to model good behavior. It's like -10 out there today. And let's see, do a little more. This video is getting long enough. This is where you would spend lots of time. And how much did this block of snow cost me? This beautiful block of snow. Not very much. In fact, it was free. And if this one goes bad, I've got more where that came from. That is one eye, the one-eyed wonder. But hopefully, and look at the nose. So everyone's got a different nose. I love this nose. But you could have lots of fun shaping it. And you know, even little changes to the shape of a nose will totally change the look. And I cannot see this thing straight on. I'm thinking that is becoming an officially funny nose. Okay, I'm going to polish it all. And I think we'll call it a day for now. If I go like this, does that look more like a person? That definitely looks weird. But that is the fun of snow sculpting out here in a gorgeous day like this. I just lost my sunshine, but it's been a wonderful day, and I thank you for spending some time with me today. And get out there and have some fun with snow. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.